Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 9 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great weekend, safe weekend. Let's make it a great week, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Ask for what you want. Find the courage to ask for what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everyone has the right to ask you for what they want, and you have the right to say yes or no. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow finish up 105, NASDAQ up 29, S&P's up 10, gold contract up $13.30, trading at $1,336 an ounce. Silver up 21 cents at $22 an ounce. Platinum up $9.50 at $1,438 an ounce. Copper down 3 pennies at $3.26 a pound. Light sweet crude up 44 cents, trading at $102.65 a barrel. Bonds. You have the 10-year down 3 ticks at 125.16. 30-year down 6 ticks at 132.29. And King Dollar off 30 ticks at 80.24. The euro is off 11 at 137. The yen is flat at 102.45. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at it. What do you have? Can you spell failure at highs, folks? Over the highs. Close under the highs. Lighter volume. All the above. Spikes it intraday and can't handle it. So cash S&P, 1847.60. What did it do today? It gets up to 1858, which gets over the high that was generated December 31st, which gets over the high that was generated January 15th. Bottom line, they not only sell it down, they sell it down in a fast and furious way and actually sell it under the high of last Wednesday. Never mind about the high that was generated December 31st as well as the January 15th level. If we go over and we take a look at this future for a second, you'll see what I'm talking about. And this is a classic, folks. And the classic is you spike it up, you get them in, you get the Dow up a couple hundred points, you get everyone excited in a huge way. Get that money in there, baby. Get that money to flush it down the toilet. So what do you have? You have the future S&P at 1856 at 12 o'clock at noon. You take the first leg down, you can see, well, by the way, okay, the last time that we had any volume on the way up, this on a 10-minute bar was right at the first get-go this morning. After that, they juiced it, couldn't handle it, meaning higher price, and then, man, they let loose on this thing, and whoever let loose on this, folks, let me tell you something, it had to be a monster, because in one 10-minute bar, you had 158,000 contracts come out of the S&P. And that took the S&P down 7 points. You know, so bottom line, that was the test of the highs out here. We'll see what kind of follow-through we get tomorrow or the next day, but I expect you're going to get some follow-through. Now, that's on your S&P. Dow Industrials only got to ice. You know, the Dow has been the weakest index. The Dow had come down from a price point of 16,588. First leg down, took it to 15,336. We got up today to 16,300, and you still close up $100. But see, the top of ice is 16,332, and we got to 16,300. So it never even made the top of ice. Bottom line, you closed also under the highs, which was generated last Wednesday. That's saying, guess what? The Dow, in fact, could still be an ABC structure on the way down. Let me just make sure of that. I'll make sure that it hasn't done a 0.618 retracement from highs to low. Oh, you're going to love this. Okay, so intraday today, the Dow did do a 0.786. So that's saying that the Dow also is in a consolidation. It has a high volume low at the 15,340. It'll go for that number. NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. So what do we do with the NASDAQ? Composite, first off, up $29. Composite closes at highs, I believe. 4277. Yeah, the composite closes at highs. And, you know, that's saying, hey, guess what? The composite could get tested again at the high. NDX 100, different ballgame. What you had with the NDX is and this is the top 100 stocks in the NASDAQ. What you had there is that the NDX couldn't handle the highs all from last week. It spiked over them, closed underneath them. If you want to see the correlation inside the Qs, this is what we have inside the Qs right now. Inside the 3 Qs, we closed at 90.41, and that correlation there, the highs from last week were 90.4172, 90.46. What the Qs are doing, folks, is that they are testing the October 2000 swing point, which is 90.25. So at the end of this month, I'm looking for a close under 90.25. They will not have the volume. They're shot by 250 million right now, and the Qs did light volume today too. So it's not going to make the volume. In order to basically have a total failure, though, you need volume and you need price simultaneously. Let's go to Dave in Clearwater. Hey, Dave, what's going on?
You talk about failure. My friend, the failure was natural gas.
The failure was natural gas, brother.
Oh, dude, what a roller coaster this thing is, man. I kid you not.
There's no doubt.
I mean, Tom, as you know, I've been trading natural gas for a while now, and you're in Danny Hack's point, you're seeing moves in days that would normally take a couple of months, and you're seeing it in one trading session.
You see, you are. And folks, okay, so as we're walking you through this, okay, I'm not suggesting that you trade natural gas, okay?
Yes, I am.
Well, Dave and I are trading it, folks, okay? So today was a heck of a day because they had goosed it up in the morning, and we had already talked about this on the air, actually, and we talked about it off the air, too. But what this was, so check what this was, folks, okay? When you take the actual contract that is expiring right now, okay, the contract expires, where is she? Here she is, here. So I think tomorrow's the last trading day, right?
I think there's, there 2 days in there? I want to say
it might be Wednesday, okay? Yeah, it might be Wednesday. But what ends up happening, folks, is that the brokers come in and they make people close the trades. That's the bottom line. And so they got to spike it up this morning. As they spiked it up, it just gave it up in spades. That's the bottom line. Natural gas went from, one contract went from 630 to 538, and, that's a $9,500 move on one contract. NGJ, that contract went from, let's see, 520 to 450. That wasn't as big. But you wouldn't expect it to be as big. But bottom line is that, yeah, the volatility's there in spades.
I just want to ask you something. This is the part that's, and you and I were talking about this last Friday. This is the part that's not entirely clear to me here. Because as we know, I'm going to UNG for a minute.
Okay, and the UNG, folks, okay, the UNG is the gas fund, okay? It's an ETF. Go ahead.
So the UNG is mine. This is the part that's not entirely clear to me, which is why I'm asking for your expertise here. There's tremendous backwardation between the H contract and the J contract. Okay, I mean, we're talking, 472 versus 547. So we're talking about 80. Actually, I'm doing this in my head, approximately 80 cents, something like that.
Right.
But it's substantial. It is substantial. So the thought that I've got is there's part of me that says, okay, with a move like this today, odds are, because we might have, and I'm hoping at any rate, this is a hope with an odds are, some form of a low-volume bounce that will present another opportunity to sell. So that's thought number one. Thought number two, in a couple days, I'm making the assumption that the UNG contract, right now is still being valued off of the H contract, and in a couple days it's going to go to the J contract. I'm making an assumption here, which would then have a lower value, which would then make sense. Okay, if it kind of comes the way I'm thinking, wouldn't it make sense to put on a put spread with the UNG?
Okay, so we're going to walk through this, folks, and we're going to walk through it a little bit slowly. So, no, first, to answer your question, no. And this is why. Now, that trade 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, Dave, would have been right on, okay? But this would end up happening. I think we had talked about this before, but there was an oil contract, right, that blew up, folks. And what was going on is that all the futures traders knew when the roll was happening. Okay. Here, you stay right there. We'll walk through this baby as soon as we come back. This is let's see, Dave. Dave from Clearwater. That's a beautiful thing. I just got to say Dave White. I see him in the den, growling and prowling. You stay right there, folks. Come right back.